Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sheila will calf. Lee about Luna survival while Liam news enrages Bill. Liam and Hope just got a massive shock at the Spencer manse, where Finn forced Grace to come clean about faking Liam's cancer opinion and the procedure that followed. It looks like Bill will get updates on Monday's B&B occasion, so he'll be thrown for a circle as Liam and Hope explain everything. Bill won't understand how this is possible, but Liam will point out that Grace specified medicines to make him suppose he was getting sicker. Between that and the bogus reviews, Grace managed to move Liam that time was running out. That ultimately led to Grace offering this miraculous result to Bill and scoring $1 million for it. Bill will watch about Grace's defenses and will make it clear that she's going down for this. Grace formally headed to the police station to confess her crimes, but will that be enough for revengeful Bone Bill, or will he want further vengeance? Sheila roll now that she's pulled back the curtain to reveal Luna. Sheila was stunned at the sight of her slow granddaughter, so she'll have plenitude of questions for Lee about Luna's condition and why she saved her. Lee may admit that her relationship with Luna was strained in recent times, but she still remembers the sweet little girl she formerly was. Luna lost her way, but Lee feels like it's because Poppy bad parenthood set her up to fail. Lee wants to give Luna the support she needs now, so she's been nursing her back to health behind unrestricted doors. Sheila may contend on helping, but Lee may be cautious of having another person involved in all this. Luna will awaken from her coma soon, so she's in for some surprises once that happens. Hope slided Grace over her fiddle. Finn also had to hold furious Liam back, so then's how Friday's B&B occasion went down. At Forrester Creations, Katie was taken suddenly over Bill news about paying $1 million for Liam's experimental surgery. Still, Bill would have been willing to pay far more and considered Grace a phenomenon worker. Although Bill acted like a dictator in the history, he was glad to have another chance to do effects right and have a better father-son relationship with Liam. Liam and Hope bothered his cancer was back, but Grace assured them that wasn't the case. Hope and Liam were relieved as they started singing Grace's praises again, but Finn pushed them to hear the verity. Grace came clean about there no way being any cancer at all since she faked the reviews following Liam's brain bleed. Liam also set up out that the procedure was fake and that he'd been given drug to make him suppose he was getting worse. Hope realized there were $1 million reasons for Grace to do this and ultimately snapped about her being no better than Reese. As Liam realized what all this meant, he dived toward Grace in a fit of fury. Finn stopped Liam from attacking Grace and got him to calm down a bit, but Liam was still mealy. Grace tried to explain about the bookies that were after her as well as her daughters over Reese's old gambling debts. Liam and Hope easily didn't have any compassion for Grace considering how low she sank. Hope stepped forward and slided Grace across the face before calling her sick. After Liam blustered about what Grace put his family through and how she'd burgled them of months of their lives, Grace pledged to turn herself in. Finn said he'd take Grace to the police station, so Hope embraced Liam once they were alone and recycling all this. Lee formally again refused to give Sheila word on Luna remains. After Lee picked the dropped medicines off the bottom and left, Sheila set up a slapdash bottle and milled it over. Sheila ultimately knocked on the door of Lee's place and pretended she was a delivery person. When Lee opened up, Sheila tried to worm her way in since she suspected Lee was using medicines to manage with Luna's death. Lee blocked Sheila from entering and left Sheila in pain since her bottom was jammed in the doorway. Still, Sheila eventually managed to barge outside and pulled back the curtain to reveal a veritably important alive Luna. Luna's coma awakening is fleetly approaching. Liam and Hope to reel from Grace concession. We should see some developments now that Sheila Carter has busted Lee with a bag full of medicines. Finn and his discovery. Despite Grace eventually coming clean with him, Finn is floored. The deceptive croaker did explain that the people after Reese are now targeting her as well as her daughters Paris and Zoe. Finn does know what it's like to do anything to cover a child. Still, he doesn't reason faking Liam's brain cancer. Finn told Grace that he wasn't going to tell her secret, but she was. Now affrighted Grace and Finn are both at Bill's house. Liam mentioned that he feels inconceivable and healthier than he did before the opinion. Still, when Grace tries to get out of confessing, Finn pushes. Finn will eventually declare that Grace has commodity to tell them about Liam's brain excrescence. They're presumably bothered that the excrescence has returned or there's some kind of complication. So, imagine their horror when it's commodity worse. Liam no way had brain cancer to begin with. Grace will of course, maintain with them to forgive her and not tell anyone. The croaker might repeat her story of re-slaying debtors coming after her. She might indeed make a plea to Liam and hope about doing anything to cover their children. Grace will reason that she's doing the same thing with her own girls. I could see Liam and Hope agreeing to keep quiet for now. Still, Finn is right that these guys will just turn around and demand further plutocrat. So, giving them what they want is end a result. How does that tie into the fake brain excrescence? Could Aunt Grace have gotten a loan or vended off her means before coming up with this wild scheme? There should also be an update on Lee and Sheila's hassle. Will Lee be forced to bring Sheila to see Luna? Grace eventually gave up the Verity. She broke down and cried, without gashes, after Croker and wannabe operative Finn cracked the rearmost riddle. California has seen in violent position of crime through the adulatory times. Generally, Baker would be called in to handle the case. But not this time. Finn set up Liam cancer clear too miraculous. So, in a matter of time that could be counted in a sprinkle, he developed a proposition, brazened the main suspect, and forced her to confess. Martin's character at the Precipice House. Baker agreed to allow Will to wear a line to entrap Luna and she did. But all went crazy as Luna ripped off Will's shirt, revealing the electronic recording device on his casket. The likely ghost gun she bought wasn't used, and Will was allowed to leave unharmed. Seeing the Baker, Steffi, Electra, Finn, and others sweat out Will's sweats was deeply daytime. But that fantastic sequence pushed the plot along toward Luna's perceived end-of-life plot, with observers latterly learning that her compassionate aunt had formerly again falsified death documents. Lee formerly did with Finn, she's keeping Luna alive without anyone's mindfulness. Sheila discovered Lee's crime when Finn was assumed dead. But replaying Sheila as the dick could be stayed. Finn's tenacity and his experience in formerly being in the same state as Luna now make him the more likely of the two characters to uncover this reality. Lee has experience as well. A lesser plot would have her upkeep Luna cloaked indefinitely, with no bone. Learning what happened. That's a tricky script to pull off, with a threaded needle climax also demanding Luna to claim responsibility for faking her death and not entwining Lee. Grace stressed retribution from the debt collectors who were after her ex-husband, Reese. She didn't seek help from a co-worker, like Finn. Grace also didn't communicate the Chief Baker would have been willing to communicate the authorities and the authorities where her daughters are as well. But the below conduct wouldn't have averted the Liam terminal excrescence story from passing, and so Grace responded as she did. Justice would indicate that Creech's character may lose her medical license and conceivably be put behind bars. But this is day, those issues are far from certain.